former president who now formed the EFF really did a number on the ANC Youth League, left the Youth League in debt of up to 7.4 million. So we've had to pay back loans and hotels.
Did you take over after Julius?
Henda, you are now entering a space for Black history.
Hey yo, we back with another video. Hey, I fit you get a band. I hope you guys are keeping warm. We about to check Podcast and Chill Youth Day special reaction. Let's start this one.
And now, what a many, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special Youth Day edition of Podcast and Chill. I thought it'd be dope, to get all the youth leaders from the biggest
top 3 parties.
that we have in the country. So please, round of applause for Nicholas Nyati, who's the DA youth leader. But you're interim, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean now?
Interim,
Hey man, I love how Omek G, like his ability to want to learn. It makes it interesting for us to watch Podcast and Chill, because he said this guy's interim. He said, yes, if someone understood, or if the presenter of the show understood what interim is, but to make is like, what is interim? So he gets to explain so that we can understand. Because of Nami, when he said, in my mind, I'm asking myself, what the F is that? But at least we got someone like Nick Q who's able to.
So please, round of applause for Nicholas Nyati, who's the DA youth leader. But you're interim, right?
yeah.
Okay, what does that mean now?
Interim, I was elected to take the DA youth to Congress. So I'm leading the party in the interim until we go to our Congress.
Oh, when is that, the Congress?
After we finished with all the provincial conferences, we left with Gauteng, Western Cape, and the Northern Cape this weekend.
Oh, so you're still interim for a while, ne?
And I'm going to contest and win again. I just go there and remove that interim.
Nice one. Also, please welcome the EFF Student Command President, Sihle Lonzi.
Yes.
Now, I'm confused there. What does it mean when it's a student command? How's it different from a ANC, a youth league
president?
Look, obviously, primarily we exist in institutions of higher learning. But what the Student Command is starting to do now is to venture out to communities. With the slogan that student wars are community wars. So you'll find us more active in communities as we lay the foundation for, a future youth movement of the EFF.
Whoa, so you don't have a youth league equivalent?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I wonder why.
No, no. Look, if you look at,
I want to create another Julius.
if you look at big youth movements, I mean, we talk about June 16 as a youth activity, but it was actually run by students.
You think if there was a if youth league, it would be it would intimidate Malema?
No, I don't think there's anything in South Africa that can intimidate Malema.
And then we saved the best for the last, the man of the moment.
Load shedding.
Mr. Load Shedding. Please welcome Kulekani Skosana, who's the National Working Task Team member of the ANC Youth League. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
How's that different from you being the president of the ANC Youth League?
It's different because I was not elected. I was appointed by the National Executive Committee of the ANC. So we are going to Congress on the 30th of June. And we have not been elected because our former president, who now formed the EFF, really did a number on the ANC Youth League, left the Youth League in debt of up to 7.4 million. So we've had to pay back loans and hotels.
Did you take over after Julius?
Not really, but since he left the Youth League in tatters, myself and
but was the president after him?
Yeah.
How did you say he backed up the Youth League when there was a president after him?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
So it's
because
unsubstantiated, it's baseless.
No, there's base. I mean, the Youth League was put under administration our accounts were frozen until we could be able to pay back monies that from hotels which she used to book without pay in the name of the ANC.
But the youth league in the ANC operates.
I mean, if Julius was the president and they're saying that he left the ANC Youth League in debt, then who was signing off izinto? Who was arranging bookings for Julius? Because as a president, I don't think he would pick up the phone and call himself and say, I'm coming through, I need a place to sleep. There was someone, Begam Tumela, who would arrange such things. Who was signing for and who was getting such things for Julius to go spend nights on? And that person is the one who's supposed to make payment. I don't think Kubuti, this guy, what he's saying is legit, man. I think it's misinformation.
Monies that from hotels which she used to book without pay in the name of the ANC.
But the youth league in the ANC operates within a bigger structure that's the ANC, so you are surely enabled by his superiors.
Exactly.
To get the youth league into so much debt. He wasn't acting unilaterally with all the power unto him.
The youth league is semi-autonomous, so the youth league has its own bank accounts and has an executive committee which takes its own decisions. So the youth league is capable of raising funds and using its own money for its own activities. Also, some of the support gets from the ANC, but the ANC doesn't tell us what to do or what not to do with our funds.
So do you still have members of that executive? Because it sounds like it was a number, not just by Julius that was done on you, but by the entire executive. Are they still there and are they being held accountable?
Would like to see that happen. Would like to see that happen.
Okay, leave the youth league. Leave the youth league. The ANC cannot pay staff members.
Yeah.
Like the ANC is bankrupt.
Yeah.
So I don't see how then you make it a youth league problem when even the guys at the top, every month, it's like we have to postpone.
No, but he did say it's semi-autonomous.
Yeah, but he can't blame it. He can't blame it to the ANC youth league because
I can only imagine what he's doing with their membership fees because we have experienced that
he's paying all the staff members for starters.
Money.
But if he's imagining what Julius is doing with their membership fees, okay, that's maybe that can stand because he's the president now, and he's not only a youth president that has someone bigger who's looking into it and making sure that it's run smoothly. He's a president of a powerhouse. Then Ganjalo, I believe what he says goes. But youth, I
can only imagine what he's doing with their membership fees because we have experienced that he's
paying all the staff members for starters.
Money.
Who are you talking about? Comrade?
He's asking what is the president of
he's
the
paying
EFF
all the
doing
staff
with the
members.
EFF membership.
Yeah.
For starters, he pays all the staff members on time, pays for the building that the EFF currently resides in, which is the headquarters, and many other things that the EFF is.
But he doesn't release the financial report.
And he's always asking people for donations. Now they have a number where you must SMS and donate there.
Yeah, because the EFF wants to get donations from the people. It doesn't want to be captured.
I tell you an interesting fact about this guy.
Tell us.
I found it very interesting. You've got different grading of municipalities. Grade 6, you grade them. So a metro councillor will get paid about, you take home 37,000.
Oh, wow.
A councillor from a rural area will take home about 18,000. Julius says to those councillors, all of them must bring a bus to Joburg for their anniversary and pay for that bus and pay for the people in that bus. A bus from rural Eastern Cape will cost you about 100,000. How will a person who earns 18,000, who takes home 18,000?
A bus from rural Eastern Cape to Joburg, 100,000. Ay, bafethu. Sengiyayibona le mali ukuthi idliwa kanjani. A bus from rural Eastern Cape to Joburg, 100,000. Ay, bafethu. It's way less than that. Way less than. Probably it could be around. If it's that expensive, maybe it could be 20. If it's that expensive, it could be 20K. But the 100,000 I
for that bus and pay for the people in that bus. A bus from rural Eastern Cape will cost you about 100,000. How will a person who earns 18,000, who takes home 18,000, afford that 100,000? What he's doing is saying, go and steal municipal funds.
No. What the problem is?
The minute he started speaking against Julius, he was warned. That's why he's quiet now. He has to defend. Remember, his first ever statement.
And even now, he must be careful because he might get fired.
You know what the problem is?
Oh, that's why he wore this big ass skirt.
To show that I'm on the right side.
You know what the problem is? Leaders in the DA and the ANC, they don't have any sense of loyalty to their organization.
Sure.
So there's no responsibility that they want to have towards it. So in the EFF, we're saying the members themselves, leaders, both at the local and provincial level, must contribute in one way or the other to the organization. In the ANC, they stake money, they enrich themselves. DA, they do the same. We are saying, if we deploy you to government, maybe before you didn't earn any income, you didn't have anything, but through your hard work, now you are a councillor or you are an MP.
Give back. It's
at
only
least give
fair.
back to the organization.
Yeah,
that's how
fair.
we run, the EFF is run.
We have loyalty to an organization, not an individual, not a cult personality. All you guys are doing is donating those 10 rands to find a lifestyle. A known person who lives a very luxurious life. We've known him in the Youth League. And like I said in the beginning, he plunged us into a financial crisis. And for all these years, we've been dealing with that, having to pay people who assisted the Youth League of Julius many years ago, more than 10 years ago. As long as you've existed, we have been paying back money which he indebted the Youth League. So I'm just...
but that's careless by ANC, man. You can't put it on you, Julius. If there's a loophole for any person to steal and make money, I'm taking my chances. That's MALEMA, the ANC. When Julius was still part of the Youth League and they're saying that he chowed, I think he said 8 million, Makali show. And now, if he was still part of the ANC, it means they would have kept quiet. They would have kept quiet. And just because of Upumili is built EFF and it's a successful party, say Puma les dollars to chow 8 million. Please, man.
Just advising you that you
the statements are unfounded. But let me make another scientific statement again. Ipsos, again, when they came to engage us, and Ipsos is an independent electoral research, they don't owe us anything. Part of the other very important stat that they give us is that actually the EFF is now more popular than its leader. Whoa. And for us, that's a very important statistic because we do accept that when an organization is starting, of course, the leader must profile the organization. It's natural. Mandela at some point was more popular than the ANC. But what we're starting to see in the EFF is that now the popularity of the EFF is starting to be more than the popularity of its leader.
But no one in the EFF can ever contest Julius. And Floyd started to shine. Julius dealt with him and said, "You're sure, Ndlozi." When Ndlozi started becoming popular, Julius said, "They went back row."
So when Talimpopo
started to video actually when they were shutting down the country. Yeah, there's a video on social media where you can see Julius is telling.
It's how he is.
Hey, man, chill, you're just an Iceman.
Yeah.
Yes, you saw that video. That's all.
When Talimpopo started to shine,
they showed him how you're just a nice boy.
You see the difference between me and my fellow comrades or colleagues or whatever you want to call it. Is that they are just throwing around statements. Julius is this. I'm saying Ipsos is saying this.
Yeah, sure.
The data is saying this.
Sure.
So auditions to be an ice boy.
But anyway, listen. So I want to ask you guys, right? In terms of politics, at what age are you are you not youth anymore? Like at what age?
35.
35.
In the DA we say 31 because we don't want Oros or Julius to come with wife and all those things. So we say 31.
Yeah.
Go and compete with your elders.
It's in accordance to...
But in South Africa, it's 35.
It's 35.
No, in South African law, it's 35, but we are trying to build a party here that is going to allow young people. Imagine me, I'm 35 years old, I have a beard, I'm competing with a 14-year-old for president.
No, they're trying to live up to some European American standards. You know that there's no definition of youth in the world. So according to lifestyle and standards in a particular community, that's how you would define youth. So according to the situation in our country and in the continent, youth is 14 to 35. But in America, in the United Nations, youth is 14 to 25. So this is another attempt of them trying to be Western. We are living in a country, we've got a constitution. That constitution says 14 to 35. And that's in response to your question.
You know why we've got elders in parliament?
Yeah.
This ideology. A person by the age of 35 is saying, I am youth. By the age of 68, when they're the same age as Nkosazana Dlamini's home, they'll first want to be an elder. We are saying in the DA, by the age of 32, we are already old. So that we go to parliament whilst we're still young, still energized. At 65 and 60, you think about going to play with your grandchildren. You know what these people did? They said, young people are 35 years old. Therefore, we'll put a minister of youth in the presidency. Nkosazana Dlamini's.
I mean, I
the
understand.
minister of youth.
Yeah.
Nkosazana Dlamini's home. She's 68 years old.
They have to colonize them young. And soon he'll be sent to Harvard, he'll be sent to Oxford because black people do not last. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, that's blazing.
But on the real, man, I mean, we've all seen, it's a joke, Yeah. But no. I mean, to the same thing. On the real, we've all seen that black leaders don't last. So when you look up there, obviously you've got aspirations because, like you said, hey, you don't even look 31, man. It's like you're older, but when you hit 31, you'll go compete with your peers.
I will look old.
No. When you're past the DA's definition of youth, aren't you concerned about your future within the DA? Because black leaders don't last in the DA; they always get sent away.
Look, I think let's first fix that part. I want to
see, hey man.
I want to fix that part because we're going to name 5 black people. We've lost white people, we've lost colored people, we've lost Indian people. Politics is a contested terrain. ANC lost Julius and lost other people. No one comes to them and says ANC is losing black people. No, there are people who left the ANC and started COPE. You get. No one said the ANC is losing black people. But when it comes to the DA, people want to bring this racial thing. You're kind of like, no, I'm saying you can't elect a leader on the basis of their color. That's why we're in this mess, because we continue voting for black people, but they're the ones to oppress you. They're the ones to bring load shedding. I'm not going to vote for Sisha Kulegan because they're black.
All we're saying, prepare your application forms for Harvard and Oxford, because right now you are being elected because you've not gained popularity. Once you become popular and a threat to the white establishment in the Democratic Alliance, you are chased out. And you are.
I think also there's some truth to this, because I feel that the DA uses black people to get the support of other black people. In order for EDA to get voters from EFF and voters from ANC and all of other these political parties, I feel like they have to uplift a certain black person, and then those people, I don't normally vote for EDA because of there's white people there, but because of there's a black face that is uplifted as a president or whoever the case is, then I will vote for EDA. They did the same through Herman Mashaba. They did the same through Musi Maimane. And maybe this guy is being groomed towards that route. You will be the black face that gets us black voters. Nothing more, nothing less. So I kind of understand where Kulegane is basically
given a bursary to America, and that is your future, my brother.
Look,
we're talking to a future student of
Harvard. Look, for me personally, I think any child should be proud of going to Harvard. I think that's how people feel. But for me personally, I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to stay in the DA. I'm going to fight. Because
it will not
be
your choice.
I believe the fight is greater than just...
it will not be your choice. The God in the DA is Mama Helen Zille.
What do you guys think?
I think that the Democratic Alliance, as an establishment, is racist. And the reason it exists is so that it mobilizes the minority as a bloc. And unfortunately, because of numbers in our population, they need people like him to come and vote. They need people like him to hold placards. They need people like him to march to the ANC. But when it comes to positions, when it comes to deployment, when it comes to decision making, they don't need him. They send him away to Harvard. So Helen Zille is like Queen Elizabeth in the DA. She will rule until she dies.
Let's go to the ANC. What is your role? Do you get a seat in the table?
Yes, we get a seat in the table. We sit in all decision-making meetings of the African National Congress.
So you brought load shedding?
No. Load shedding is as a result of demand not meeting capacity because the apartheid government only built power stations for select communities.
Why everything must it be the apartheid government? How long has it been? How long has it been? The trains are not working. Apartheid government. I think some kids were not getting amasasa grandwa. Put blame to the apartheid government. Right now, if my bank is now collapses and there's no bank in SA, they'll put blame to the apartheid government. There's water shedding, apartheid government, load shedding, apartheid government. What is ANC responsible for? What is ANC responsible for? That's all we want to know.
Is as a result of demand not meeting capacity because the apartheid government only built power stations for select communities and they did not build enough capacity to cater for black people. So now the ANC...
30 years.
Exactly, man.
I think redo that one.
Repeat the speech.
Please, my brother. It's apartheid government. So now, potholes.
In those 30 years, we have built 2 functioning power stations, and we have a nuclear power station called Kuber. And all I'm saying is that based on demand, we are not able to meet demand because of capacity, because the power stations which were built in South Africa were built for select communities, white people in the towns.
Yeah, but if that was the case, I think the ANC, when they first got into power, they knew what they should be focusing on. It shouldn't take them a load shedding to happen for them to know, oh, fuck, they didn't build power stations for the people in the townships. The ANC members are from the townships. They are from the townships. Isn't the power station they were supposed to know of such things? Building a rainwater kasi, they are supposed to know of such things. But because of Manje, we are now dealing with a load shedding. That's when we should feel sympathy for them. Get the F out of here, man. Get the F out of here.
We're not able to meet demand because of capacity, because the power stations which were built in South Africa were built for select communities, white people in the towns, and not for black people because of Group Areas Act. So the ANC has increased in reception, where in a village where you did not have a connection to electricity, you now have a connection to electricity.
But you're misleading us.
So because of demand...
With a straight face.
This man will kill you.
Yeah, we've built 2 power stations, and one of them is a nuclear power station. Like I'm saying, capacity is not able to meet demand. And many of the townships, which by design were not supposed to have access to electricity, now have access to electricity. It's just our power stations have dilapidated, and with the resources that are there in the state, we don't have enough money to build more power stations.
Important word, dilapidated. Look, it's the same in every ANC government. These people don't know how to govern. The basic principle of government is maintenance, Makji. You maintain your infrastructure. They never maintained it. And because they don't want to take blame, they're going to blame apartheid. Maintain your infrastructure. He's saying it. We had power stations. We let them to be dilapidated. Who are we going to build to blame? There was a report in 2008 already that said we need to build build new power stations because the demand is heavy and we are not maintaining our power stations. But they didn't. You know why?
I think that report Yafika when Thabo Mbeki was president. I think Yafika when Thabo Mbeki was president, and when I read it somewhere, I'm just not sure where, but I'll be paraphrasing. If I'm incorrect, please do understand, and you can correct me on the comment sections. When Thabo Mbeki was in a position to sign the documents so that they can build other power stations, it was during the time when Zuma was now wanting his mshini wami uyangibambezela. And then when Thabo Mbeki was then put off from the presidential seat, and then Zuma was now the president, those documents didn't sign. Those documents were not given much attention, and we are in the situation we are today because of something that happened in 2008, if I have my dates right.
Because it opened an opportunity where their comrades can come and supply coal, can come and supply diesel. Look at the expenditure for diesel. They spend billions on that. Basic things. We have cities running out of water. You know why? Maintenance. You've got roads with potholes. You know why? Maintenance. They don't know maintenance.
In DA-ran municipalities, that's where we have potholes. In DA-ran municipalities, that's where we have potholes.
Here in Joburg,
for 7 years. Can you explain potholes for 7 years?
Government. These guys
in Pretoria.
Never. Power stations, potholes, give it to us.
If you don't want your house, give it to them. Give them the vote if you don't want your home. Give them government.
So in the DA, what are they saying solution is for load shedding?
Look, for load shedding, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. We believe that fix ESCOM, but also open up for independent power producers. What this is going to do is to move us with the time. Kulagana watches videos, always speaks about 4IR, but they don't want to do this fourth industrial revolution. Let's have innovative things. In Kabeja, for example.
You have innovation in Kailicha and Kukuletu.
I'm going to come there. In Kabeja, for example, we have wind. Why are we not using wind turbines? In cities that are hot, why are we not use solar for sun in terms of generating electricity? But surprisingly enough, in our DA municipalities, we are moving towards being off the grid and away from ESCOM, where we're allowing independent power producers. Amazon is going to be one of our independent power producers in Cape Town. And to answer him on what are we doing in Langa and Khayelitsha, have you guys played in Rens or some place in Khayelitsha?
Yeah.
Tell me, is there any township where they're governing that has got roads that are marked? I'm not saying Khayelitsha and Langa are perfect. They are not. Because the number of people that are there.
You are governing.
No. I want
the townships in Tshwane are governed by.
I want to respond. You said Khayelitsha. I'm coming to Khayelitsha. Now we are moving to Tshwane. Which one do you want me to speak about?
I'm just saying that you are claiming perfection, and I'm giving you a capital city.
Okay,
where you've governed for 7 years, where there are potholes, where the roads are not marked, where the townships are now going into the state of Khayelitsha, Langa, and Kukuletu.
Okay.
Because that's where the DA prefers people.
Let me come, my brother. When you went there,
I stay in Centurion, man, which is right by you guys. It's the pits, man.
I want to come there. When you look at Khayelitsha, look at the infrastructure that was done there. The problem with the Western Cape, if you look at, is it called migration, where people move to that city? Look at the stats. I don't want to say them. Fact checker must check them. People move from the Eastern Cape and other provinces to go and stay there. It's the truth. Look at the recent budget that we passed. 70% of that budget is going towards infrastructural development in Walanga and Khayelitsha.
Wow,
it's not like me. Go and check. Fact checker must check if I'm lying.
You've ran the city of Tshwane.
Let's come to this 7 years that he speaks about. If you looked at Tshwane, we relied heavily on the vote of the EFF, just like we did in Joburg when Herman was mayor. Now, you understand how coalition politics work. John spoke about this. There are certain parties, I'm not pointing any fingers.
We're never in a coalition with the DA party.
Yeah, but they lended us their vote. The same way they're saying they're not in a coalition with the ANC, but they're lending them. These guys would come to you and say, we don't support this budget. A proper budget. In LMB, where they recently took over, we had a 90% pro-poor budget. They wanted to reject it. And then they will come and say the DA was governing.
You've bankrupted the city of Tshwane.
But this is what the...
let's go back to the load shedding. So what's EFF saying this?
And this is what we must not allow, because I see the Western agenda of IPPs is being pushed. So all over, you look at the history of all nations, how capitalism works is that you make state enterprises dysfunctional, you collapse them, and then you say the private sector is the solution. Did the same thing with the SAA. Now they want to go to ESCOM. People are complaining about the prices of flights. Commander-in-Chief said it years ago to say, look, if we allow these guys to privatize SAA, they will collapse. Poor people or even middle-class black people won't be able to afford flights. The same thing is happening to ESCOM. It's a DA. You see, on our side, we don't really see...
How is the DA responsible for ESCOM?
We don't see policy difference between the ANC and the DA, by the way. Because the ANC is also pushing this privatization of state-owned enterprises.
But what is the EFF saying? What's the solution? Forget about these
things. Look, of course, you must maintain the current power stations. You must also build new power stations. But also in the immediate, you must try to also look outside. You look at maybe countries like China in terms of how can we get energy generation. There are these ships that are at our shores, that where you can actually plug in, if I can explain it in simple terms, you can actually plug in and get energy generation from them. We must also look at clean coal energies that we can look into. So this thing of saying we want to decommission all the coal plants, DA and ANC, we don't want any more coal, we want a green transition, we want the sun, we want the wind, we want this. No, many countries in the West, the base, they started off with coal. And then over time, they moved on to, bring in other green energy. So we can never allow, number one, an agenda that seeks to throw away coal in South Africa as a base energy producer. But number two, this crusade of privatization, I'm telling you now, South Africans are going to regret it.
And just to add, man, I think with coal, if we can check our GDE, I think it's called GDE, coal last year, or it was last year, it was one of the main resource that was bought a lot from India. I think they spent over millions just to transport or just to buy coal. It shows that coal is here to stay, and it shows that coal has always been here and it's always been a part of who we are. So then we must do away of coal. Now I'm party sharp. But with politics, man, they say one thing and then next they'll say another thing. Next week they say another thing. We yet to see the real people who are running the world to talk or give us guidance. This is where we are heading to, and then we just have to follow. That's it, man. It's been a great reaction.
Yeah, so you got it, dude.